welcome to another episode of Firehouse number 6. I'm Chief Frank Smith in Novi Fire Department, and today with me I've got Cheryl Walsh from the city. How you doing, Cheryl?
Very good, Chief. Thanks for inviting me back on your show. I guess I didn't ruin the last episode too much.
Actually, I heard good things about it. Today we're down at the Novi Ice Arena, and we're going to show what a fire inspector does in their normal routine when they're inspecting an installation like this. All of our fire protection officers that work 48-hour weeks are all certified in fire inspection. So they can go into a building and they look at life safety, they look at possibilities of danger in starting a fire, and they can, by looking at that stuff, they have the property owner prevent it. So that's why we're at a city building, and we're going to take a look around and just show everyone what they look for.
Very good. Very exciting. So there's more to it than just the actual riding around in the truck waiting for the call that we did last time?
You know, we actually still have people say to us, oh, did we interrupt a game of checkers? And, you know, those days are long gone.
Absolutely.
These guys are out and they're doing fire inspections, making runs, so it's a different fire service today.
You know, I think that is a very interesting fact that when people typically think of a fire protection officer, firefighter, they think of someone that actually is out fighting fires on a daily basis, but it's so much more than that. They are actually on medical runs, they're actually doing these inspections, checking fire hydrants, etc., each and every day to make sure our community remains as safe as possible.
Yeah, they are, and there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and that's why we're here, just to show some of the stuff they do on a daily basis that people don't see.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Who am I actually going to be walking around with today? Is it going to be you, or are we going to have someone else?
It'll be Fire Marshal Evans and Fire Protection Officer Gordy Poihonen.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I know that I'm going to learn something, and I hope that our viewing audience does as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Stay tuned, and we'll be right back to inspect the Novi Ice Arena. Hello and welcome back to Firehouse number 6. I'm Cheryl Walsh, the Director of Communications, so proudly filling in for your regular host, Fire Chief Smith. We are here at the Novi Ice Arena, and with me are Fire Marshal Mike Evans and Fire Protection Officer Gordon Poihonen, and we are here today to talk about fire inspections.
Yes, Cheryl. The City of Novi, we use a unique concept called Company Inspection Program. The company inspection program is basically, we take our firefighters, our fire protection officers, and we train them as fire inspectors. And these are the men and women who are going to be going into a burning building. You know, when you call 911,
right,
they're the first ones arriving. So they need to be very familiar with the building. So by having them being inspectors also, they get to have firsthand knowledge of that building. Go inside when there is normal conditions and no fire conditions going on, and walk through the building. Make sure that the building's safe, check for fire code violations, give the notification to the building owners or managers, but also become familiar with what's going on inside that building, the building itself, as well as the operations in the building.
So as the fire marshal, you're not the only one inspecting these buildings,
No,
is what I just heard.
By far I'm not. We have 26 other trained fire inspectors in addition to myself.
How many buildings, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, how many buildings in Novi do we or you have to inspect annually?
We inspect annually about 1,500 to 1,800 business occupancies.
Okay.
And that takes place in about 1,200, 1,300 different buildings.
And does that range in size from your smallest, maybe medical or dental office, all the way up to your retail?
It goes all the way from the mom and pop party store to 12 Oaks Mall type of buildings, yes.
Well, you guys can keep fairly busy, I would think, doing that many inspections a year.
I'd say they do.
What does a typical inspection look like? You pull, do you give a business notice?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes,
okay.
we do. What we do is I send out a letter, my office, we send out a letter every month, and to every business that we're going to be visiting for the next month. So for example, here at the beginning of December, we sent out the letters for where we're going in January.
Okay.
And it's a pre-inspection letter, and it tells them ahead of time, says, hey, we're coming sometime next month. And it also gives them a checklist of things to look for. And it allows them to do a little self-inspection check of their facility and make sure that they've taken care of all the issues. So it gives them a heads up of what we're looking for. And so it's not a surprise that when we arrive and what we're looking for.
And they see you guys once a year at least, obviously, because you're going in and doing the inspections. Like you said, Micah, that it provides you all, the ones doing the inspection, with a great opportunity to actually see the footprint of a building, not just in blueprints or plans that you may have on file, and then actually get to interact with the the facility staff.
That's right. Yep. And we're in every building in the city at least every other year, and many of them we're in every single year. And it's all dependent upon the hazard involved.
Okay.
Some places, like maybe a medical office facility, doesn't have a lot of hazards involved, so we'll go there every other year.
Okay.
Where we're here at the Novi Ice Arena today, and this is a facility that's an assembly, and it has some interesting hazards, some hazardous materials in this facility. So we
Okay.
come here every single year and make sure
Okay.
that it's safe.
A large public gathering place, etc.
Correct.
Got it. When you first walk into a facility, what are you looking for right off the bat?
Every fire inspector goes on a concept. Basically, it's a three-phase concept of doing a fire inspection. The first thing that we're taking a look at is we're making sure that a fire doesn't occur. So we're looking at sources of ignition. We're looking at things like electrical outlets that are overloaded. Maybe there's combustibles located too close to an ignition source, a heat source, maybe a heater, things like that. And making open flames. Anything that can cause a fire to start, that's the first thing we're looking at. We want to prevent the fires from occurring to begin with.
Okay.
The second part of it then is if a fire does occur, because we know we're not going to prevent every fire from occurring, if a fire does occur, we want to make sure that the means of egresses, the exits, the aisle to get to the exit, and then to get out the door, and then to get out to a safe distance away from the building, that all of those are intact, and the doors can open up freely, that the exit signs are illuminated, that the emergency lights are working properly. So the means of egress to get out of the building, that's the second phase. And then the third phase is that, again, if a fire does occur, a lot of buildings today have fire safety features in them, like sprinkler systems and fire alarm systems and fire doors and firewalls. And we want to make sure that all of those items are working properly as well.
Now,
So
will
there's
you
three
test
phases.
those things? Would you test a sprinkler system in a facility?
No, what we do is we require that they have a company inspect it and test it every year for the
Okay.
sprinkler system and the alarm system, and they give us that documentation. So when the inspectors first arrive, that's one of the things that they're asking for at the very first when they meet
Okay.
the manager is, can you give me your documentation of your annual inspections?
Okay. Now, in a facility of this size and nature, where we just mentioned that it's a public gathering place, Gordon, would you pull the fire alarm to make sure it worked?
No.
No. Okay, was just asking that. Had to know
Yeah.
if we were going to get to do that today. No.
No, we're looking like Mike stated, we're looking at the paperwork that they have on file to make sure everything's been inspected. There are times if we have had a problem with an alarm system in the past, we will pull it just to verify that it does work.
Okay.
And we'll notify dispatch and the occupants that it is a test.
How many facilities do you go in past 100% with flying colors, no issues?
It's changed over the years because we are coming in on a yearly basis. They're starting to, the companies realize what we're looking for now, the businesses. So it's gotten a lot better than what it used to be. Off the top of my head, maybe 50%.
Okay.
I guess,
Okay.
probably.
And then the other things would be minor, that they need to do a little bit of cleanup or et cetera.
Mostly
maybe
it's minor
overloaded
issues, yes.
electrical outlets or something of that nature.
Right.
Okay.
A big part of our inspection program is education as well.
Okay.
We want to educate the public, we want to educate the business owners, and that's why we have them go with us when we do the inspection, so we can show them that this is the violation, this is why it's a violation, and this is how you correct that violation. And so it becomes an education process. So as Gordon said, the next time that we come in, they know what we're looking for and they know how to comply with the code, okay? And so it keeps their business safe. And we've done a very good job of this because our commercial fire loss, knock on wood, is very low in the city. We're very fortunate because of that. And it's a lot of it, we've been doing this 20 years. We've been doing this type of inspection program for over 20 years now. And so our business owners and our occupants, they know how to comply, they know what we're looking for, and they're pretty good about taking care of that.
Wonderful.